recording? Yes, you're recording. Okay. Hey everyone, it's Emily and it's time for my March TBR. And I've kind of found a way to set up my iPad to my tripod, and it kind of made things for filming a little bit easier. So we'll see how this goes. So, yeah, hi. So, I am having a kind of a small TBR for March. I read some crazy amount of books back in February. I don't know, all I do is read lately, but since I'm becoming more mobile, I should be going back to work in the next couple of weeks, and so who knows what my reading habits will be now that I've kind of been reading tons and tons, but I'm also maybe going back to work. So I'm going to try and take it easy on myself this month on reading, and we'll just see how it goes. So first up, we have The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. This is the pick for March for my book club, the Bookworms on Facebook, and I have been saying for months and months, oh, I really need to reread The Golden Compass. I need to reread The Golden Compass because I read this trilogy, his Dark Materials, back in college, and I remember I really liked it, but honestly, I don't remember, like, anything. So I've really been wanting to reread this trilogy, and so I was excited when this was the pick people chose for March, because now I have a reason to reread The Golden Compass. Then I'm also going to be reading Hard Bitten by Chloe Neal, the fourth book in the Chicagoland Vampire series. This is Twice Bitten, the third book, but Hard Bitten is waiting for me at the library, and I haven't had a chance to go and get it yet. So this is the placeholder for Hard Bitten, and I'm just so excited because I'm the biggest fangirl for this book series so far. It's awesome. Then, for my diverse books project, I'm going to read Princeless by, who's the author? Jeremy Whitley and M. Goodwin. I had heard someone on BookTube talk about this book. I apologize. I cannot remember who recommended this book. So, if you recommended this book, please let me know because I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. But this is a book about a girl who is a princess, but she doesn't sit around and just wait for her prince to come rescue her. She kind of just makes adventures for herself. And it is a graphic novel comic. I'm not really sure the difference between the two. And yeah, I have not read many comics or graphic novels, but this one just seemed really, really adorable. I thought it would be a really great place to start. And yeah, and it's going to be super, super fun. This might be the first book I read this month. But since Princeless is so short, I decided I'm going to add a couple other books to my diverse books project for the month. And the first one will be Iron Kissed by Patricia Briggs. This is the third book in the Mercy Thompson series, and I've already read this book, and it was a few years ago, and I wanted to keep going with the series, especially I'm kind of in this urban fantasy mode lately, and so I thought it would be a really good time to pick up Mercy Thompson again. And I realized I don't remember anything that happened in the third book. Like, went on Wikipedia to try and, like, refresh my memory. And there were a couple things where I was like, yeah, that kind of sounds familiar. But then I was like, yeah, for the most part, I don't remember what happened. So I decided to give this book a reread before I move on to the fourth book, which is Bone Crossed. And these books will be considered diverse because Mercy Thompson is actually part Native American. And it kind of adds a really interesting feel and twist to this series. If you're not familiar with Mercy Thompson, basically Mercy is a mechanic and she is also a shifter, and she could turn into a coyote. And this just kind of follows her adventures and werewolves and all that really fun stuff. Then I'll move on to On the Prowl. This is a set of short stories and novellas by different urban fantasy authors. I'll probably just read the story by Patricia Briggs since I'm not familiar with the other authors, but it'll just be a fun, quick read about Mercy Thompson and her friends. Now it's TBR Wineglass Time! Alright, let's see. Which book on my shelves will I read this month? Basically, there's a bunch of books on these pieces of paper that have been sitting on my shelves and my iPad for months and months and months, sometimes years, that I just need to get to. So, here we go. The Thorn Birds. I will be reading The Thorn Birds by Colleen McLeod. I think that's how you say her name. This is one of my best friend's all-time favorite books. We were roommates in college, and we've been friends since then, and basically, I remember watching the miniseries with her, and she talks about this book all the time. Anyway, I've always felt like a bad friend for not reading this book yet, but I will finally be reading it. I picked this up a year or two ago at a used bookstore, and yeah, I will finally be reading The Thorn Birds, so I hope she's happy. So that is my TBR for March. I'm sure I'm going to be reading a ton of other books. I have a couple on hold at the library, but they just haven't become available yet. And so, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you plan to read in March. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later. Bye.